Hello again, Dominic Trophy, and welcome to another video. And this one's going to be something video game related, but it's actually going to be about Nintendo. Now I know I've not really done much Nintendo related videos lately, but this is one I want to talk about, and this one's actually going to be my thoughts about Nintendo Labo, or Labo, or Lobo, or how the heck you pronounce it. Probably Nintendo Labo. Now, for a lot of people, they probably know this, or if you don't know, or if you don't really care. Basically what Nintendo Labo is, it's basically going to be a sort of creation set that Nintendo is releasing. And there's actually going to be two models or versions of Nintendo Labo. And basically, it allows you to create stuff and just be creative and stuff. Basically that's what it is. And my thoughts about Nintendo Labo is I think it's one of the best ideas that Nintendo has ever created, or any other company that's ever created. And the reason why I think this is a good idea is because of the fact that you actually are creating stuff. You are discovering new things that's made. And I always thought it's one of those ideas that, that never really made me think that. But I thought for what Nintendo showed in the trailer last week, it is really, really innovative and cool for what Nintendo is making. Now, the thing with Nintendo is that they've always been a toy company. People always think that they are a video game company, which they are sort of now, but overall as a company, they are basically still a toy company. They've been existing since 1889, you know what I mean? A long, long time, you know what I mean? So, it's crazy. And they've made all sorts of stuff. They used to make Hanafuna cards, which are a sort of like card game, which I don't know what the heck it is. Well, I think it's like pairs. I think that's what it is, where you match two up. I don't know if that's what it is. And they've also made, other toys and stuff. You had the Ultra Hand. You had other products and stuff. They even went into different, ways of creating different products. There was one time where they made a little, portable vacuum. There was one time where they made rice, Nintendo Rice. They even owned a taxi service, back in the 60s. So they've been at a different, areas of different companies of work. But overall, they've always been a toy company. And they made toys back during, the 60s and the 50s and, during those times in Japan. And then obviously when they started making consoles and stuff and, video games, obviously they started being released outside of Japan. But they've always made toys, done merchandise and everything. And it's definitely one of those things I think a lot of people will like. And the problem with it is a lot of people just think that that Nintendo is selling you cardboard for like 60 quid. The thing is, here is the thing. Nintendo isn't just selling cardboard and string and accessories and all that sort of stuff. That's not what it is. They are also selling you a piece of software. That's what they're doing. They are selling you a piece of software. And a game for the Nintendo Switch usually costs like £50. You know what I mean? So if you think about it, you're getting like £10 worth of cardboard, string, whatever, for £10, which isn't bad. So I think you should really think of it as like a game, you know what I mean? Not just the pieces, not just the cardboard and everything else. Think of it like that. And I think a lot, obviously, obviously it was, advertised to children. And they, did inform that, hours before they showed the trailer. And I think a lot of children will definitely like this. I don't think a lot of adults will, but I think there'll be a lot of adults out there that will love this so much, and they will be enticed and excited to, build it and stuff. And I think for me personally, I definitely want to get it, even though I don't own a Nintendo Switch. This may definitely make me think, wow, this is really, really good, that you're basically, building stuff. You're like building like a robot, you know what I mean? You can create like a piano and stuff and, play piano and do all sorts of other stuff. And it's definitely something I will want to, get into. Even though I'm 22, I'm 23 years old in 2 months. time goes quick. That's what it does. And it is just one of those things I think is really, really amazing. And it's such a shame a lot of people are saying, oh, this is rubbish, this is stupid, why is Nintendo doing this? This is for kids and stuff. You know what I mean? It's not advertised to your demographic. You know what I mean? It's not advertised to the the older adults and stuff. I think it's more advertised to children, but also people who have creativity. You know what I mean? And I think this will work well for a lot of people, who are parents, who have children and stuff, and they're wanting to create stuff, with family and do all that sort of stuff, spending time together for hours, creating something amazing and really, really great, you know what I mean? And it will definitely sell well. I think it really, really will. Not just because it's Nintendo, but I think it definitely will excite a lot of people. And another thing I think that made me think this was nurseries and, primary school and stuff. And I think for a lot of nurseries who, want to, get the children creative and stuff, I think this will be an amazing idea, you know what I mean? To get them creating stuff, helping out each other, putting bits together and, all that sort of stuff. It is an amazing idea. And I think it's also amazing for people who, special schools and stuff, I think for myself, with me, I'm autistic and stuff. The thing with a lot of autistic people is, and again, I'm not, I'm not saying anything bad, but a lot of autistic people out there in the world are extremely creative, especially a lot of young people, and a lot of the older generation. And it's just amazing of how much creativity they have, you know what I mean? And, whether or not you are on a disability or not, this will excite people, you know what I mean? I think not just young people, a lot of older people. Like I was talking to my sister's partner on Saturday, because we went out, for the day. And I asked him about it. I said, oh, what did you think about it? He says, yeah, it's not real for me and stuff. I said, it's the whole cardboard. I said, it's not just cardboard they're selling you, you know what I mean? It's become a bit of a joke, you know what I mean, online. Oh, well, Nintendo's selling unsold Wii U boxes and that's what they're using. I don't think it's that, bad, but if anyone's joking about using unsold Wii U boxes, you know what I mean? That would be sort of weird, but you know what I mean, and stupid. But you've got to understand with Nintendo, they've always been creative, even with their consoles, you know what I mean? With the Switch, the Nintendo Switch, where you can use it as a home console, or you can take it out the dock and play it as portable, you know what I mean? And an innovative idea. Same with the Wii U, with the dual screens and stuff, and the off-TV player. Obviously, it didn't sell well because they didn't advertise the heck out of it properly. But for what Nintendo made with the Wii U was really, really innovative, and was actually never seen, you know what I mean, until then. I know with the Dreamcast, you had the VMU, so you had you had the screen on the controller, kind of, you know what I mean, which was very interesting for the time. And I know we've recently got PlayStation Vita remote play on PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4. Again, another little interesting thing. But for that, you need both devices, whereas for the Wii U, you basically got one device, you know what I mean? And I quite like the off-TV play, it's really, really good. You have the whole motion controls with the Wii, you know what I mean? It's really, really interesting. And that's what makes Nintendo unique. The DS, the 3DS with the dual screens, you know what I mean? They make innovative ideas. The Virtual Boy, it was a failure, but it was very much ahead of the times. It really, really was. But an interesting idea for what Nintendo made. And that's what Nintendo has always been like. They've always been a very innovative, company. And that's what makes Nintendo a lot different. Because a lot of people, most people always want Nintendo to be basically the Nintendo equivalent to the Xbox or the PlayStation. And I don't think Nintendo will ever do that, because they like to be different. And I think that's what makes them unique in their own way, because you always have people saying, oh, well, you know, you've always got these Xbox versus PlayStation battles, you know what I mean? And then you've got Nintendo in a corner doing their own thing and being unique, being different, and just being Nintendo, just being themselves. And that's what I like about Nintendo. Being different makes it a lot more interesting. Being the same thing sometimes can be a bit boring. And that's just how it goes, you know what I mean? And it's not a bad idea. And that's why I like Nintendo, because they do a lot of interesting things. I think with the Amiibos, it's sort of the same thing, because there'd be a lot of people out there saying, ugh, those are for kids, you know what I mean? Those little Amiibo toys. But they're not for kids, you know, well, they're not just for children, you know what I mean? You know, a lot of adults like them. I know a lot of people collect them, but they're basically like extra content you use in the game, and that's what I like about Nintendo, like mixing it up and adding new things. You know what I mean? And that's what I think, you know, makes it a lot more interesting. But the problem with it is people who are sort of hating on this Labo thing, on the Nintendo Labo, is that these people who are hating and aggravated about this will end up buying it. So it makes your argument sort of pointless. And you'd have someone asking, well, why are you buying this if you think you don't want it, if you think it doesn't interest you? It doesn't really make sense. But I think there'll be a lot of amazing, you know, people out there that will, you know, have amazing ideas, creative ideas, and just having fun, you know what I mean? Having fun, creating something, discovering new things. That is what makes Nintendo Labo unique in its own way, and amazing. And the thing is, you can hate all you want, oh, this is rubbish, or what the flip's Dominic talking about, you know, he don't deserve it, oh, this is crap, you know what I mean? It's for children, it's for children! Dominic, what are you talking about? Innovative! They're selling you cardboard for 50 quid! Some bloody goofballs out there, you know what I mean? And I don't really care what the heck you think, you know what I mean? I think it's a great idea. A lot of people will do as well. And, you know what I mean? Just truly amazing and innovative. You know, true Nintendo. Amazing. So I just want to say, thank you much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. And I'll see you later. I'll see you on Friday with my Alex Francis video. And obviously my Saturday video will be usual and stuff. I just want to say, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all later. Hope you enjoy the rest of your week. Hope you enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you all later. Bye.